We all love cinematic universes. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is amazing. The Star Wars Cinematic Universe is a masterpiece. And the DC Cinematic Universe, it's a thing, at least. But what other cinematic universes are there? And what do all these cinematic universes have in common? Well, they are all based off books/comics. And soon, we will be presented with another cinematic universe that is based about books. I present the Roald Dahl Cinematic Universe, also known as the RDCU. Now, this is just a theory, and it hasn't been confirmed yet, but all the pieces of the jigsaw are there, and we're so close to getting this masterpiece. But what evidence do we have to support this theory? Well, in the last few years, Netflix have released multiple of their own shows based off books by Roald Dahl. We've had Wonka, Matilda the Musical, and The Witches, and many more. And these films have been put under the subcategory of Roald Dahl adaptations. But the real reason that this idea clicked in my mind was at the end of the Wonka film, where Noodle found out her mum that she lived in a library. We also know that her mum was very poor when she gave birth to Noodle, and there were some mysterious circumstances from when she was younger. Now, keep that thought in mind with you for a second. Now, this is Miss Honey, Matilda's adopted mother from the Matilda film. She adores books, was very poor when she was younger, and had some mysterious circumstances that made her much happier. I know what you're thinking. I am suggesting that Noodle's mum is Miss Honey. And that could work. She never had a certified or confirmed second name. And that would mean that Noodle and Matilda would be stepsisters. And they're the perfect duo. They both love books, they both had terrible life growing up, but have been really, really smart. And there is so much potential for maybe a meet-up that could happen. And this can't be a coincidence. It has to be intentional, this design and writing. But that's not the only similarity between the two films. Look at these two characters, Miss Trunchbull and Mrs. Scrubbit. They are both old, scary, mean, uncontrollable women who have a cell where they lock up kids who have been bad. Yeah, they're definitely the same people. And look at the resemblance between Miss Honey and Noodle's mother, and also Trunchbull and Mrs. Scrubbit. They're both the same person. But how would the timelines work with these two films? I'm suggesting that Matilda is the first film that happens in this cinematic universe, while Wonka is on the ship heading to the Gallery Gourmet. Then the results of Matilda would play out, and eventually Miss Trunchbull is sent away. Then Miss Trunchbull would go to the Gallery Gourmet and sets up this scam apartment with Bleacher. This is the same one the Wonka falls for in the Wonka film. While the events of Wonka have been happening, Miss Honey has settled down in a library with Matilda. And this is the same library that we see at the end of Wonka. And one day, Miss Honey will get a call from Wonka and his team. Remember, they did that at the end of the show. And, well, you know how the rest plays out. But just as the MCU has a big bad, like Thanos, and Star Wars has the big bad of Darth Vader, and DC has, sorry, is this Korg but in dark mode? I don't know. But the point is, you need to have a big bad of the cinematic universe. But who would the big bad for the Roald Dahl cinematic universe be? Well, there's an upcoming animated Roald Dahl film called The Twits, based off the Roald Dahl book with the same name. Now, if you've ever read The Twits, then you'll know that there are these two absolutely horrible old people. These two people would make an amazing big bad of the RDCU. But there's also this idea that Mrs. Scrubbit and Bleacher could be the Twits. But I think that idea is amazing, but the upcoming film, The Twits, is animated, and these two aren't. But then that raises another problem, that the Twits is animated, so how could they interact with the other characters, like Wonka and Noodle? Well, my idea is that this big finale of the RDCU, kind of like the Avengers Endgame of the Roald Dahl cinematic universe. This would be a mix of acting, CGI and animation. It would be really tricky to pull off, but if done correctly, then it could be cinematic gold and make bajillions in the box office. So, what do you think? Would you follow the Roald Dahl cinematic universe? Let me know down below. And of course, subscribe if you want more like this. Bye!